Most creators spend hours editing videos they don't script properly and then wonder why it doesn't land, and I've been there. Overcomplicating shots, rambling in the edit, and wasting days trying to fix it in post. But now, I write my scripts in a way that makes the video practically edit itself. It saved me so much time and helped me post consistently every week for years and years. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Okay, let's break this down into two parts. First, the structure almost every single video should follow to keep viewers hooked. And then the second is going to be the actual scripting formula with the template of how I script out my videos to make them almost edit themselves automatically. And then at the end, I'll include a few non-obvious things that I try and do in every single script to make the final video so much better. Section 1 is going to be the script structure you should follow. And before we get to that, let's cover one thing that most creators miss, and it's a huge mistake. You should always start with your title. If I don't know the hook of the title, I don't know what thread I'm trying to pull through the whole video. So I write the title before anything else, and then I build the entire video to deliver on that promise. I'll usually have a list of a bunch of different titles I'll think of. If I think of something while I'm watching some other videos, maybe I'm outside doing a random activity, I'll clock that idea, write down that really good title, and know that I can build an entire video around that later on. Then when I'm trying to script out a new video, I'll find one of the titles that seem appealing and I'll start building out my video around that title. It's vital that your title invokes some form of curiosity. Here's a couple of title frameworks that I like to think about. What's the thing people are scared to admit? What's the lie we've all believed? What's the transformation someone can see in X amount of time, preferably quite short? Now onto the actual script format that I follow. I like to think about it as the 80-20 rule of watch time. So we have the hook. The first 30 seconds equals everything. I really like to focus on something I call PSP. This is pain, solution, and proof. That should be in your hook that coincides with the title that you created. So we really want to reassure the viewer that we've convinced to click on our video that they're in the right place. And we can use the title in our first line right here again to help us do that. If your video title is something like a promise, you better deliver in this first 30 seconds, otherwise those viewers are gone. Number 2 is going to be the body. Now this is where we deliver on that promise and we show what we're really talking about with our solution. We really want to focus on building open loops right here. Every point we make should focus on promising something that's coming next or the next best thing that's happening in the video. We can create tension with things like, that's not even the best part, or this next thing completely changed the game for me, for example. Viewers don't really drop off here because you're boring. They drop off because there isn't a finite reason to stick around. So if we have those open feedback loops, we can give them reason enough to stay to the next section, which is going to increase our watch time. Number 3 is going to be our conclusion or CTA. We could have a quick recap. Maybe it's a change in perspective we've had after we've gone through our entire body, or one clear CTA that we would like the viewer to do. A good idea of this is instead of having an outro card, we could say something like, by the way, if you like this, if you wanted to find out more about this thing, you can watch this video right here. And we can hopefully get a recurring view from that viewer. So before we get to those non-obvious things that will make all of the rest of this theory work way, way better, let's talk about section 2 and how I actually script out my videos and something I like to call the paper edit. Instead of thinking of my script like a speech, I like to think of it more like a timeline or a shot list. Every sentence has a purpose, a shot, and a visual in mind when I script it. Now, here's how I actually lay it out. I'll create a line of dialogue for any talking points I might have, and I'll make a new paragraph which indicates a new camera angle or a camera angle change. If you're someone that likes to just do locked off shots of a talking head sequence for your whole video, don't worry about it, you can skip that part. I'll also make a short note of B-roll next to each point of dialogue for any visual cues or more importantly, visual hooks that I can incorporate into that section. I'll even go as far as to include things like pacing or mood for those sections, because I like to fluctuate between fast and slow pacing, and putting in that in the script helps me know exactly how that section needs to be. So a little script example might look something like this. I'll have a little text dialogue. Most people think the script doesn't matter. I'll have the camera angle, let's say top down, of me sitting at the desk, and then I'll have a B-roll note saying some shots of me with my notebook. Then my next thing of dialogue is, but this is where 80% of the edit happens. The camera changes to like a shot from down there of me sitting at the desk still. Then I can have a little B-roll note that says show notebook. Maybe it's close-up of notes, maybe it's me writing something, and then I'll include the pacing, which will be fast-paced with music, and I'll try and speak to fit within the pocket of the music that I'm going to choose. So I'll often actually have the little track or the little sting part of a track that I'm going to use for that section. Here are a few things I always try to keep in my scripts to make my videos sharp and addictive. Add silent moments. Don't script only talking, script pauses and beats. Write for energy shifts in mind. So fast, slow, fast. It creates a rhythm throughout your edit instead of being this like plateau. Script curiosity, not only value. Although it's important to have value, try and end sections with little mini cliffhangers. Write your shots as visually as you can. Don't just think in words. Think in shots, in angles, transitions, and energy throughout those sections. And above all, keep it simple. If your script is too complex, you will be punished for it later in the edit. If you want to save even more time and focus on high return work like scripting instead of wasting hours in the edit, you can check out my editing agency, thecreatorlabs.co. It's built for creators who actually want to create more and edit less so they can stay consistent and give themselves a chance of actually making it as a full-time creator. The price is going up really soon, so if you do want to get on board, now is by far the best time to join. Let me know in the comments which part of the scripting process you struggle with the most, and I'll reply to as many as I can. If you want to see how you can edit the scripts that you've just created in the most streamlined way, you can check it out over here. And remember, if you don't want to edit at all, you can just hand it over to us, which you can check out in the description with thecreatorlabs.co. Other than that, see you in the next one. Bye.